back on the Mule. So in this video, again, I'm breaking this up weird. We had a walk around video, washed it, got it in here. Then we had the engine removal, kind of pull the engine out, do a post-mortem on the engine, see what was in there, figure out why it died. Now we know why it died, and it died because the crank broke, as we showed in the previous video. That's what's left of the old crank. Common failure point on these motors is what killed a lot of them. The Kawasaki, well, it's technically a Daihatsu 950. Probably sell the head on eBay. Someone's got to need this thing. The injection pump down here. Not sure what the interchange is. I feel like that head worked on a bunch of different things. Same with the injection pump, so hopefully someone can use those. I certainly cannot anymore, because what we've decided is that we are going to go with a Vanguard conversion. It will no longer be diesel, which is a bit disappointing for me. I kind of like the diesel aspect of things. But what it also will no longer be is water-cooled. That's a big upgrade, because if you look, the amount of water pipage, there's a huge pipe that I took off already. This whole pipe here, I already removed inside the car, inside this thing, under the seat. We have a whole radiator here and associated piping, and then that goes down and seems to then come across to a radiator up here. So they are clearly trying to cool this thing off at any means necessary. And from some of the things I've read, one of the things that hurts the diesel engine was that the cooling is just not adequate, which makes sense. You got a radiator under the seat with a fan on it and one up front. They're both small. So we're going to go air-cooled. In an effort to start that process, I am going to start kind of cleaning this up to get it ready for when we get the parts. I'll put a link. I'll see if I can put a link. There's the conversion kit that they make for the Vanguard. It's normally like $900 with the spline shaft that I need, because we have the spline shaft that goes on our clutch. I found one on eBay for $300. I just happened to randomly click into eBay yesterday, and it was on there. They say it might not have all the pieces in it, but from the pictures, it looks like it's got all the pieces that I'm going to need. It might just be missing the swivel for the relocating the throttle cable. So instead of 900, we got 300. Now I just need to pick up a Vanguard engine, and it says it'll work with 16 horse to 23 horse Vanguards. I'm trying to keep this project budget friendly, as much as I hate to put a 16 horse Vanguard in this thing, because I am losing 8 horsepower over the original configuration with the diesel. From a pricing perspective, if I can pick up a 16 horse Vanguard for a couple $100, I might do that. If it ends up being underpowered or something, I can always keep my eye out for a 23 horse one, and the conversion swap in is pretty simple, really. So in preparation for those parts to arrive and me figuring out getting an engine, this needs to be nicer. Chassis has got some rust on it. I want to clean and encapsulate all of the chassis members. Probably end up doing the same thing down here. We've got a lot of rust and corrosion starting on it. It's a 2001. To be perfectly honest, I think it's in great shape for 2001. I did get a new shock. Another shock that looks just like this one off of eBay. I got a pair for $30 because this is, I couldn't get the bolt out. I had to cut it. And rather than push it out and mess around with that, $30 for 2 extra shocks, they'll be fine. So we'll clean those up. The other thing I got to do is I got to remove things like the starter, and I want to get all the water necks, all the water stuff out. Oh, look at that, making a mess. I want to pull a whole radiator system out of it. We've got that whole radiator system that's in it that we don't need anymore. We may as well take advantage of the fact that it's going to be air-cooled, pull all that stuff out. It'll give me a chance to go through the electrics too and make sure that that all works. I'll have way more room in here. This is just an air cleaner for the old engine. I don't think I need that anymore either. Here's the expansion tank for the old radiator. So under the seat is going to clean up significantly by doing this. So we're going to start that process of getting all this stuff tore out and, get the chassis cleaned up. Also, another project we got to do, I got to replace this fuel tank. This is the fuel. It's a diesel tank, but it's got a hole in it, and I have a spare that the guy gave me with the car. So we'll probably replace the fuel tank. Going to use the same tank. I'm not going to change it out and put a different tank in just because it's gas. It'll be fine. But yeah, let me get you guys set up, and we will start pulling stuff out and cleaning up. All right, get started. Let's get this door off. I think these doors just slide up and off. I don't know how hard or easy that's going to be, but I feel like we're at a pretty good disadvantage here, struggling with the doors. So yeah, let's see if I can get it off. There we go. It does just slide on pins. Alright, so that's going to make it way easier to get in and out of this thing. Let's go get the other door off. Just especially with the latches, I'm sure you guys, if you're watching the series, you watched me struggle to get these doors latched about 20 times. All right. So, I'm going to pause one moment while we go and get these doors outside, because they don't need to live in here. One moment. Okay, so those are gone. Let's get the starter out. Feel like that's a good next step. We don't need the starter anymore. It's just the one wire here we just got to pull out. Probably end up reusing that battery cable for the starter on the other one. No reason to reinvent the wheel, as it were. Just fine. Pretty heavy duty. Definitely, I'll tell you from a price perspective, just had a guy message me on the marketplace again. I've been looking for the 18 horse Vanguards, and I keep finding 16s. Seems like that's the most common one that's around and available. Not that the 16, again, it's going to be a problem, but I really do feel like this thing will be way better with an 18 or even the 23. A brand new 23 horse Vanguard is, I think I saw like $3,200 or something like that. That's a lot of money. A lot of money for a motor for a project like this. Just don't know how underpowered it's really going to be at the end of the day, you know? That's kind of what it comes down to. What are you doing here? You're definitely freed off. There we go. All right. Oh, no, part for the parts pile. You know, we got a good starter, and we have a good alternator from the other engine. So, again, don't really know how valuable any of that stuff is going to be to someone else. This is our throttle cable. This has to be adapted to the new Vanguard. That's going to be a little bit of a change. I guess the next thing we should probably do is move inside and see about trying to extricate some of this radiator fun. Let's see, what's the best view? You know what, let me move the clutch assembly, or actually the driven clutch here and the belt out of the way. These over here. Alright, so if I get you guys in here, I can probably work over there. Let's maybe zoom in a little. Yeah, so you can see the stuff we got to pull out. I mean, it's essentially all of this can go. I'm just going to start taking stuff apart. I don't know at what point it's going to start to leak everywhere. We can pull this cap off. Make sure that we have air in the system so it starts to drain if we find a drain. I've only got one break in the system right now, which is back there. So we should end up with some stuff starting to leak out. It is the lower hose. I've caught most of it already. It's probably pretty empty. But let's dig in and see what we can remove. Maybe I can move these seat belts out of the way. Really got a vacuum in here too. All right. So for starters, we may as well start on the easy stuff. Let's get this contraption out. It's not hooked to anything anymore here. That's a drain, and this is hooked down closer on the tank. So we will pull this. Yeah, there's a bracket down there. Inside, there's a bracket here. Let's pull that stuff off. Hopefully a lot of stuff's inside. We're not struggling for sockets. I feel like 10 should be enough for a lot of stuff. Just inside it. Let's see. This. Okay. Got a part pile. And there's the tank. And we don't need pretty nice about this. Okay. Once they're parts, cool. Set this out. Alrighty. You guys see this tank becoming a food tank for outdoor projects. Very cool. So we'll put that over here. And this water neck here is attached right here. You want to do it with the light. Let me help you guys see over there. Well, you're not seeing that right in there. So let's put the light on. Let's not put it over spot near the lens. Like you get. Alright, that's over there. Yeah, take it off. You know, there's really no reason to order things for this. I'm just remove it as I can see something I want to take out. So that's that off. There's a hose, which goes down another two. So the screwdriver will pull it. The top one is flat. No fills. My left problem is something different. I think it's air box off. Since we're not doing this right now, we're just trying to delay. Yeah, got that old air box. Don't know what I'm doing on the Vanguard. I'm not taking on that. I'm going to do like pancake. That's on top of it. It draws air. Probably won't be easier. Won't remove it on short after case because that would be annoying. I have to go back and do that. Here's our cable. Before we got to do it. That's what I say. Alright, so that's what we're going to do that. And the other, yeah, all tools, that's cool. I'm going to like a section of videos, just a general problem. I clean up anyway. So you need another, take a mess. You have tools. And So all rather, go back to the box to Repower crack. Okay. So this is either round off, I can't see it, and you can't see it in there, but I can't see that. That's too close. Anyway, it's not straight, it's just kind of blown up. So we will go to the socket version. Because that will sure be easier to play with. Okay, so we'll use the top one like this. And we'll switch to one and this guy right out here. Okay, so now pull that here. Oh, it probably failed a lot. Because it off. It doesn't have to filter down. I feel like a lot of those guys are obviously lab. But I said, we'll get out here. There. That's what looks good for you. This is board watch. I'll take this out. That's kind of my seal apart. Let's see. Move this now. Move those around. Can I get? Oh, this is all. No, really good. There we go. That's what excellent. Okay, another piece. Okay, so that's out. Airbox is okay for now. Just a break down here. Clean that off. A little crap on that. Let's try and get the radio out. I don't know how many bolts hold in. I'm hoping it's going to be top two and it's going to be but we're going to find out now. Which way it is. Where it is. Oops. I can screw that right down around in the suit. That socket ended up in a cross member, of all places. Never hit the ground, so I wasted 5 minutes searching around on the ground, and I said, wait a minute, I didn't hear it go splat when it hit. Landed on a cross member. So, let's get back to trying to remove the radiator, now hopefully with the appropriate sized socket. Yep, it was exactly that one, which is why I had to go fishing for it. Back in it, because that's all mounting hardware. Now you're gonna hoard all of it. Don't cheese out on your hoarding. But seriously, I think this could be good. I don't think we won't need it for the Vanguard. If we get the Vanguard engine, that's air cooled. But nothing worse than going through all the work of installing an engine to find out that if you just ran it, it would have been so much better to figure out all the things that were wrong with it that you missed. Can't say that it happens to me all the time, but it's happened to me enough that I'm just not going to take that chance. So, yeah, this will be cool. All right, so I'll put this over with the fan. Come back, we'll take stock of what's left to uninstall. I think we're getting towards the home stretch. If I'm looking in here, we got wiring. Let me get you guys down and we'll take a good look here. If I'm looking in here, we don't really have too much left. We got the airbox, which, like I said, I will remove this once I'm certain that I don't need it for the upgrade. It's in a good spot, so I don't want to get rid of it unless I need to, or if I'm not using it. If I'm not using it, watch how fast that comes out of there. Other than that, we got to tie off a little bit of wiring because I'm sure these are going to be hot probably this was the switch that turned this on. So don't really need a temperature switch, I don't think, but that's what that is. I'll probably tape those off in case somebody ever takes this and goes back to water cooled. I don't like to make permanent changes to anything I work on. Still got some coolant down here in this guy, which is going to go to that front radiator, which is our next thing to remove. This one looks harder to get at, folks. I have no idea how to get this apart. My guess is it would be easy if I could take all of this cowling off, like the factory would have intended, but... So I'm sitting here editing this for the cooling delete, and I'm assuming that my thumb did a bad thing on the old camera when I went to point at something. Do not have any footage of pulling the front radiator. You're not missing anything. It literally kind of was just, I was able to snake a wiggly socket in the back, sort of around it, and get a bolt loose, and then it was just hose clamps. It was really not held in by much, and once I pulled that out, that was pretty much the end of it. So yeah, that's the cooling system delete. I'm keeping this video short just to, again, I'm just documenting the process so that everybody can kind of see what I'm doing. Not the most riveting video, totally get it. Next up is probably going to be some details on the Vanguard motor that I found. I did find one, so I went and picked that up. I also got that conversion kit in the mail, so I have some videos on that too. Plus cleaning the whole thing up and putting the back end back together enough to install that Vanguard engine after we get done setting it up. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.